now we have an incident that occurred on the 13th of August 2003 where the scanner, the medium, accessing the energy field of the same person, finds pressure in the head and confusion. I said I'd like to communicate with the spirit mind of MS. I wasn't specific because I didn't know enough at that time. But what I'd like to have done was to communicate with the higher self. I said I'd like to speak to the spirit mind. And I'd like to understand what you're thinking and feeling, because at this time I'm not in direct contact with the person. So perhaps I'm wanting to know what's going on in her head at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak to me? And then the voice responds, the state of mind goes back eons of time, and we're led into this dialogue with an entity. It's not the scanner, it's not the medium, because it's speaking with a very solemn voice. It's not the voice of the medium. But I'm curious as to know who this is. And it declared that it was the keeper of the soul,
Okay.
which didn't quite ring true.
Okay, so Chen's laughing basically.
Yeah, I know why he's laughing,
Yeah.
because I found out, this is how you find out what an imposter is,
Yeah,
right?
right. Yeah.
Yeah, and they can be very clever.
They are, and that's the whole thing I think that most people don't realise, is that when you're dealing with these entities, they're intelligent.
Yeah, and far intelligent than I was.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had no experience of these things. Now, even the extremely well gifted medium was deceived into channeling this entity, although she did feel that there was something not quite right about it, so she had a sense that there was something wrong.
Of course, that is the whole thing as well, I think, Terry, that, you know, if you're able to hear voices and communicate with other entities, then, you know, you don't hear a type of a language, or there's no way of actually ascertaining the validity of the person or entity you're talking to. So for a medium, it's easy to hear a voice and start talking to it, and depending upon what information they provide, you know, that's where you try and decipher whether you're talking to something good or bad.
Yeah. Now, I've just inadvertently touched the wrong. Okay, then I've closed that document. But there are other guides during the course of the next couple of years concerning the same person that presented themselves to help. One was called Mishu, another called himself Mindful, another introduced himself, in fact the last one in the dialogue introduced himself as Uriel, and there was another one who introduced himself or asked to be called by the poetic name of Pebbles in the Wind.
Mm-hmm.
And I understood that Pebbles in the Wind was a very, very close guide to me. So I'm asking if any of these past guides are present now.
So Chen said Mindful wasn't a guide, that wasn't an imposter.
It was another imposter.
Basically.
Okay.
So that kind of takes that out of the equation.
I should check that again later.
Yeah, okay. So Pebbles in the Wind, he's saying, isn't a guide per se, it's part of your own personality.
Oh, really?
So he's saying it's a higher part of yourself, basically.
So is that a name that will be given to my higher self?
So yeah, so he's confirming that, yeah, it is.
That is my higher self?
Yeah, basically.
Oh. So no one, yeah. So it's no surprises always, wouldn't it?
And he's saying it would never name itself per se, because
No.
it doesn't really need a name, because it's part of you, if you like.
Now, I raised this question recently, didn't I? Was it with you or with someone else? Oh, no, someone else. Someone who was in Chicago said that he was presented with his own higher self that named himself Harmon. And I questioned that.
Right, okay.
Why should your own higher self have a name apart from your higher self?
Right. Yeah.
And it goes back to what you were saying about pebbles in the wind. You know, it's not a real name, it's poetic, and that was suggested with the help of the medium. But it felt okay. So, and I did raise this question of impostors with because he does an awful lot of work in writing.
Okay. Yeah.
And he needed to be able to explore that. So this business of imposters is constantly presenting itself. It's very, very important. And for the benefit of anyone who may be listening to this recording, it is very, very important to be able to identify these imposters.
Yeah, I think from my own personal experience, it's the biggest problem in the way that we work. Because all of the time, every time you connect, there's always this chance that you're not talking to what you think you're talking to. And you know, I sit on the train and talk to Chen, and sometimes I connect to him and think, doesn't feel right immediately, so then I drop the connection and start again from scratch, because I know that something's not right. But it's so easy, when you're doing this all the time, it's so easy to be tricked into thinking you are talking to who you think you're talking to.
So whenever we sit down to do some work to benefit someone else, for healing, or soul rescue, or spirit release, whatever, and particularly working with groups, ideally in hospital environments, we need to be able to go through a checklist, don't we, to check who is with us in the spirit realm. Our guides, are they genuine? Are we in true contact with the higher self, or is there a blockage there? So there are protocols that need to be well established in order to conduct this work without danger and without being deceived, aren't there?
Yeah, and even with all of those things in place, you're still going to have the psychic attacky imposter situation, because the minute you start trying to do this work and work in this field, then because it's going to make a change to people's lives and potentially change humanity, there is going to be a negative aspect that tries to infiltrate and deceive.
Disrupt it, yeah.